and I'm already blanking. Amazing. After capturing, I have so many different notepads. Goddamn.
Okay, cool.
Lei Long. After capturing Lei Long and having him properly held within the there we go.
Church.
Properly held within the Church of Adarashi. You basically, if there's any questions that were like lingering afterwards, I believe there was like a few that were left for Lei Long because he's kind of being held there. There has been a promise to send word to Yin Kwang to properly bring them into a city prison, as it were, and then also be able to like get more information that could be used for those proper guards to affect the region. But yeah, is there any questions left for our cultist friend here, or no?
I don't think I had. I'm trying to remember if there was.
The main thing I had was the information that dragons are being able to work with people through the banishing was something I wanted to make sure the Academy knows. So I was going to try to go back to Carmine.
Okay. Let's
Sort
say
of
you
deal.
all have left the Church of Adarashi, fairly confident that Lei Long basically has a non-functional leg and is tied up, so the likelihood of him ever escaping is nil. So yeah, you have the town that's now like, after all the near death of many of their local leaders, as well as the sort of chase and the impromptu fist fight that occurred on the pie tasting stage, the pie judging stage. Um, it's not as lively. People have kind of dispersed out to like their sort of little sort of spots. They're like homes and stuff like that. It's there's a few people kind of lingering about that, like more inside of like little patches that are like obviously kind of like talking about rumors and like how did this go out and trying to get the whole story and whatnot. But yeah, so you wanted to find Carmine. Cool. That's not that hard considering Carmine is like sitting on the stairs to the pie judging stage, kind of like nursing his wounds, as well as Carson, which I have a thing for CA names, I guess. I'll diversify that out. But CAR names. But as well as like Carson's there trying to like calm people down and keep everything on the down low. Saris is in like full investigative mode, checking everything out, and so like yeah, basically everyone's there. Xavier isn't there though. You presume that there's a lot of people like that he was needed at the bar, at the Black Banner. So yeah.
Are we as a group all going to the pie thing? Just checking. Everybody else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you talk to Carmine. I'm going to talk to Xavier, or not Xavier. So the husband. You just said it.
Saris?
Saris, yeah.
The mayor's husband.
Yes. Because when I came back here, the mayor was kind of in shock. So I'm trying not to overwhelm her any further. Since, she just had her life threatened and she's kind of going through this, like, fixated, all the things that...
Oh, my Discord froze. Oh, okay, that's what happened. I was like, oh, Robin's Discord froze. And Ben's. Wait. like,
That's suspicious.
Yeah. Okay. So you wanna talk to Saracen. You want to. Well, you are required at this point to speak with Carmine. Due to
Yeah.
greater purposes. So yeah. You walk up. Sort of. Everyone kind of
Oh,
looks
I'm going
over.
first, Saracen. Okay.
Hmm?
I'm the one going first, not
Oh,
Ben.
okay, cool.
I just know that's what I was asking.
Oh,
If Ben wanted to talk
if you
first.
want.
Oh no, Sarah can go first. That can be a thing that you do. That's fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
as
I'm
you
just
like
tying up loose ends.
walk up, you become distinctly aware that people are like kind of giving you side-eyed glances and like kind of muttering and chatting and stuff. You can't quite tell if it's good or bad, but you definitely know that you're talk of the town yet again.
I think I'm getting used to this.
Hmm.
So I would approach Saris and get close enough to try to keep the conversation more hushed. And I'm assuming, would both know how to drop our tones to not have it be heard because of training that we both have.
Sure, yeah. Uh,
I My small little list is I would let him know, in concise words of what we did in the interrogation, that if he wants more specifics, Jonas had written them all down and he was sending correspondence to Yin Qing to
Mhm.
request prison cart. Um, I would mention the dead pie guy. I wanted to discover where his stuff was, as he is
Oh,
not
he
necessarily.
was. His name is Wei Tai Lim. He was staying at the inn. Much of the information that we have actually gained was from an individual he has befriended by the name of Roger Wake, who is was an entertainer and juggler throughout much of the event. They were only not accomplices. They had only met recently, coming into the town, traveling the roads. Seemingly got into a argument with some dwarves who have also come to the town for the festival. We presume that the dwarves are not involved with the poisoning, though.
Did he arrive by foot, and were they staying together in the same room?
Um, as far as we were told, there was a caravan that came from. I believe they came from. Yes. Well, I'm aware that Roger came from the south, and that was via caravan. He says that uh, Tai Wei Tai had joined them on their traveling wagon, as it were, to come here. So the exact
Yes, I need it.
the exact town in the south that they came from is unknown as of this point, due to picking people up on the road is not an exact science.
Per our discovery with the interrogation, I believe this individual was actually enticed. Um, he is whatever you want to call it, someone that was not involved with the cultist activity. He was just trying to gain advantage to win the pie contest.
Mm-hmm.
And given this pie by the cultist, we believe he was possibly doing a suicidal mission to take advantage of the event to try to exact revenge for ruining his life by killing his master. So unfortunately the pie guy I do not believe was involved, but not something I can prove or confirm.
No, that tracks very much because of the tattoo was provided via Glimwell's fine knife work. Um, we saw no such marking across this individual, and no other information corroborates that they would be involved in any cultist activity.
It was an unfortunate death, but he did kind of put it in. He basically bit off more than he could chew, trying to cheat the system.
Good. Good, timely joke about someone who died via food poisoning. Good.
Yeah, that was like not actually intentional, but it came out. Um, have you had a chance to send anybody to collect his belongings to look for possible information of next to kin to see if there is anything to send his belongings to, or were you possibly considering confiscating the belongings as for the town as repercussions for causing
As of
damages?
this point, the Thai couple, where between Tai Zhao and Tai Mei at the inn, they have cordoned off the room that he was staying in. So there's no need to rush that. I believe no one is going to be going out of their way to pilfer the belongings of a random man who was poisoned at a pie judging contest.
So I did want to check in with Xavier to let him know this seems to be like a one-off incident. He doesn't have to worry for his life as far as like targeting. He seemed kind of concerned when we were here.
I
Dealt
understand
with
that,
right?
and I
Oh, okay.
appreciate that, but I believe he's in good hands with his entire crew.
Oh, okay.
Because
Also,
he has stated he will be beefing up security, and I'm not certain how he's going to do that, but
okay.
if there's extra people at the tavern, and that means less encounters, all the better for it.
And then I'm assuming the other church leader is handling this because of their experience and position.
Oh yes, of course.
Okay.
Everyone is fine. Everyone has come to understand what's happening. In fact, Qingjai has taken up her place and as the spiritual center of the community, and has been very active in interacting and engaging with individuals that have need of such.
That pretty much ties up everything I was wanting just to check in about. The last thing, and I don't know if it would be with you, is there was a bounty on this individual by the Church of Atarashi.
Yes.
And I don't know. I just wanted to ask your opinion as one of the people currently that exists as a head that is active right now, because I know
You want the money?
your wife. I was wondering if that would seem like taboo. Like technically we started all this to make sure we found him,
It
but
would make individuals in the town think that you are not doing this of their best
we're good.
interests, but
Which
whether you
is
care
I
about
just
that
didn't
or
know who
not
put up
is...
the money and if we could like maybe donate it to the town or
If
if
you
it could
wish to
be
donate it to the
reallocated.
town, that's of your own concern.
Well, I just didn't know if it would just go back to the Church of Atarashi because I don't know who put it up. I think they did, but
The specific bounty was produced in large part by the Church of Atarashi, but also donations of the town,
okay,
who
yeah,
felt
then
it important to do so.
I would just say everybody would just get everything back because there's no reason we need to collect just finishing what we did. But I will. Should I talk to Jonas? Is that his name? I'm sorry. Me asking, Robin asking.
Yeah, Joannis.
Joannas. I can talk to Joannas about that as far as just letting him know what would
I
need to be.
I'll be
You will?
able
Okay.
to. I'll
Perfect.
notify him of such. I'm
Okay.
sure he'll be glad to hear this. Cool. Anything else you want to?
That was all I had.
Okay. So, Carmine watches you walk up. It's kind of. Oh, hey.
Professor Sphinx.
Should I
How
be
is your
standing
mom?
up for this, or
No, perhaps not.
beautiful?
I first wanted to apologize for my improper action. This was not becoming of men like us. Everyone, I would like you to meet Professor Spence. Carmine Spence of Stradivask.
Professor, haven't been called that in a minute. Uh, good to meet y'all. I feel like I've already met, I've already met you more than enough than I particularly want to. And he points at Glim, being like, "You've got a hell of a hook." Yeah.
That wasn't even my good arm.
All right.
She
I'll
is a
take your word
terrified-
for it. Yeah. No, I've not the first tussle I've been in. Right. You're. I've been told by my compatriot over here, Durst Vald, right?
Yes.
Good. All right. Good. And
Look, before we get too into anything, I have a message for you, and then we can
Alright.
just sort of our separate ways.
okay.
The dragons are apparently able to communicate with servants from behind the banishment. The barrier is weakening, and Stradivask must know. I want you to tell Carmine. Well, sorry, tell
Well, you
Monty.
did.
I need you to speak to Headmaster Banks. Please inform him what's going on. There needs to be some sort of meeting of the assembly. This is something far worse than anything I could have imagined.
Okay. This is great to hear coming from you. Not the news, but your intention. That's great. I have some unfortunate news. That I probably won't be doing that. Because
You absolute cretinous.
no.
Garbage
Listen.
You and
listen.
Monty can't be bothered to have any sort of responsibility for
No,
any
I
of
have
this.
more responsibility than you have any idea about.
You literally studied the bloodlines. I'm sure
I
you're
did.
excited to have some back, aren't
I
you?
have what I'm trying to do is figure out how to curtail all that bullshit all the way down the line that's happened. And so was Monty. I've figured something out that's gonna goddamn blow your mind. It's gonna turn everything on its goddamn head.
What do you mean you're going against what Monty's saying?
I left Stradivask to figure out something very important that Monty was also trying to figure out. And it was... You gotta admit, the Principalities ain't what it's out to seem. They're trying to make it to this, like, free enterprise sort of place. But, everything goes up to those bloodlines. No offense to any sorcerers here, I mean...
Yes, but the principalities, at the very least, are not the ones messing around with summoning and dragon magic.
I understand that, and I totally agree. That's incredibly problematic, and I'll get that information out to people that can do stuff about it. Because last I checked with Monty, he was in a bad place. There was talk about him trying to secede from the Principalities to try and create a magocracy, as it was being talked about. He's essentially waged war on the bloodlines in his own
What
way.
the fuck are you talking about?
There's enough political pull amongst Stradivask to try and just leave the Principalities.
They have some pull with the blooded houses, but enough to make a sovereign nation of it. Also, what do you mean he's... Okay. Lot of things happening at once.
There's a lot of things.
It's no fine.
I've been doing the rounds among various well-minded organizations throughout the Principalities to try and provide them the best foot forward to giving people the best chance towards, having magic in their hands, even in the playing field, as best we could.
That's the point of all this, to make it so it's not something that's kept into the upper classes, of course.
Well, it just, everyone has a fair shake of things. I mean, sorcerers are still going to have, like, years and years of study of their bloodline and how to use them and stuff. But, yeah, no, I've been looking into it. And I'm just worried that Monty getting word about these cultists being a bigger threat than otherwise might be some form of leverage.
What do you mean? He has to know. He's the head of Stratovask. Anything regarding to the barriers we would need to have knowledge about. We have to find a solution. We have some of the greatest minds in all of magic working here. Why wouldn't we let him know?
Some of the greatest
Whatever
minds.
political nonsense he's doing, he would put aside for this. For whatever arcane absolute bastardry and places he's delving that we really shouldn't fucking be. And I've made myself clear on that point. I cannot see him just brushing this aside. This would spell doom for everything. The dragon's returning.
Here's what I'm gonna say. I do plan to go to Stratovask. I do plan to talk with Monty about a lot of things and try and set his head straight, because I feel right now the path he's on ain't a good one.
How are you calm about this?
I'm not.
This is far beyond any sort of politicking. This is far beyond whatever Monty Von Survey's head is at. This is the fate of the entire world, Carmine.
No, I know. I'm aware. It's because I know there's good folks out there that are doing their best about what's happening. Also, I've been in the South. There's a very active pursuit of everything cultist related happening down there. And it's not from us. It's from our new buddies.
I didn't think it was.
No, I'm saying
How far has the research been going? You thought I would be worried that you were actually trying to bring the dragons back?
no. I didn't. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is
Okay.
that currently, I don't know what's going on in Stratovask. I have not been there for years. You probably have a better understanding of things than I do.
I left before you did. You went on some sort of research thing for Monty and said
No, I went on a research thing to prove him wrong, to prove his direction wrong.
She just does kind of like pick up his book for a second. I'm just gonna turn to Glimwell and Emmy right now. If you give us 1 second, Carmine.
Sure, I would also love to chat in private at some point, because what I... But yeah, take your time. I'm not going anywhere.
Do group huddle, just kind of like not hearing the voice.
Yeah, while you do group huddle, you see Carmine calls over Carson and starts kind of chatting with him to, like, really, like, directedly.
Okay, so question for either of you. Have you ever had someone who you have hated your entire life through, and then realized in the span of one conversation that you were not only incredibly wrong, but probably should have been talking more to them anyway?
Nope.
No.
Okay. So me neither, until sort of like 2 minutes ago.
Looks like your grudge died then.
This is a weird feeling. I always sort of assumed that he and the head of the academy at Stratovask were very close always, and I know we are trying to figure things out where all the cultist activity is coming from, but the banishing all of the wizards and sorcerers working towards Giga is what actually got rid of the dragons in the first place. If there's something wrong at the heart of Shreddervesk, and they are completely in chaos, I don't know that we even could make a solution if we have any information. And I don't know what to do then.
Are you suggesting we go to Stratovask and attempt to figure out their political machinations?
I have never really been a fan of that. Monty, Headmaster Banks, had always been the one who was trying to push not only just respectfully the end of superiority of sorceress houses as opposed to wizardry, but a separation from political powers, and this is quite a shift over into the other direction.
If they think they can become their own nation, they must think that they have the power to rival not only the sorcerers but the standing armies of the principalities.
Sounds suspicious.
Not entirely. The reason that I left Stratovask was because of the research that they were doing. Carmine, for whatever he's saying, was part of that, perhaps not to the degree I initially thought. They were experimenting with the kind of magic that I've been having us leave alone.
I see.
The sort of things that are messing with the fabric of reality that he believes in good hands could be a good way to gain strength or knowledge or mastery of something that originally put the world to heal. There's no good that can come from the understanding of this kind of magic. So I spent my time trying to find alternative things more tied to the world itself. Forces of nature, gravitational pulls, things that are part of the cycles of the world. But if they completed their research, and they would have the power to completely annihilate anything in front of them. And I do not know what's been happening because I have been gone for long. But if they completed their research, the amount of destruction that could be rained down is beyond imagination.
Well,
imagination.
It doesn't necessarily sound like they want to rain down destruction as much as they just want to rule themselves.
No, it wouldn't be.
I mean, obviously, the houses aren't going to let them just walk away, so yes, there would be conflict, but...
He spoke of it as a deterrent, something for the sake of defense, not to ever use, but the amount of destruction is... It's not a shield, it's a weapon.
Who do you think they'll strike at first, then?
It's hard to say. Who would have the most to gain by fighting against the secession? Someone that, if Stratovask was to fight against them, the other houses would rally to Stratovask's aid, not against. I don't know who would be that alienated amongst the other houses. Just look, you see just Duras look at Carmine.
Do I know anything about the relationship of the House of White?
You can knowledge nobility if you want. What you do know is that the House of White is fundamentally defended by the House of Black, but that interaction is kind of murky past that.
Oh, what are my stats?
Can I do a check as well to see if I would know any houses?
Please
Nat
do.
20.
Ooh,
Ooh.
okay. So, in
Ooh.
terms of the blooded houses, actually, wait, this is a knowledge check. So you're gonna be able to get. Oh my god. Okay, you got a lot of questions coming in here. So let me deal with Nick first. So,